Everyone, welcome back to the Fireside stream. I'm not going to be dressing up today. You might notice I'm lacking my usual smoking jacket, and that's because we'll be writing today. And that takes a little... I need a little more maneuverability. I can't just... Those long sleeves get in the way. I need my wrists nice and free. Joining me today is the wonderful Amalia Rhymemaster, as always.
Hi.
And
Happy Frogaka, everyone.
Frogaka. And
Frogaka.
Today we're doing a slightly different thing that's going to be a bit experimental. We're going to be writing a prompt. I have no idea how this is going to go. Because we haven't really planned this out. We had a vote on the prompt itself, which is a civilian during a time of crisis in Ruby. Now, technically speaking, I believe I said the fall, but the actual content of which we haven't really landed on an idea for, and we're going to rely on you, the viewers, to help us out with that in some regards. Type with your feet, coward? No, I sanitized my keyboard. You sick. No, I'm not gonna curse this early. Gotta save them curses for later. I hope we're writing smut. Bad fanfiction hasn't failed me yet. We're not writing smut.
I don't know how, and I don't want to.
As willing as I am to write smut, I don't want that on my YouTube channel. Or at least I don't want to involve people that don't want to be involved. So the and Brady Hicks says, and Ray gets with Tiny Weiss, and Molly gets with Winter with her hair down, and they lived happily ever after the end. Okay, like the Molly and Winter thing I get, but me and Tiny Weiss? I'm not connecting the dots on that one. How about the fall of whatever event started the Great War? It'd be interesting. You see, that's getting more into like history as opposed
lore.
to that's lore stuff, as opposed to exploring a civilian, a bystander during one of the more critical moments in the series, which I think is a way more intense feeling, which is one thing I want to definitely convey during this.
Well, the first thing we need is some names for the characters, which I'm sure we'll get some great suggestions in chat.
Remember, guys, got to follow the rules of colors, unless they're incredibly old.
Colors.
Unless they're like 90 plus years old. Or I guess, yeah, about 80 plus years old. It's about how old they have to be for them not to have a color-based name. But all the same, I'm going to still write down this prompt, which is going to be...
Oh, guys, girlfriend's in chat.
Oh, hey, girlfriend in chat. How's it going? Let's see. Civilian during the fall of... So we're... Okay, first thing actually we should probably decide is, do we want this during the fall of Beacon, the fall of Haven, or the fall of Atlas?
Wow, those are three equally uninteresting events. Well, the fall of Haven is nothing. So we have nothing to work with, and I'm not going to start making something out of nothing.
So we have either Beacon or Atlas.
We have Vacuo.
Okay, the fall of Vacuo, quote-unquote, was literally just a bunch of people running at the walls of the... Like, that was such an underwhelming event in and of itself. It was literally like, I want to be king! No. Oh. Did they survive? I can't remember. Did the siblings survive that? I think they survived.
I don't know, dude.
Tells you how good that book was that I can't remember what happened to the main antagonists.
Neither do I. And again, we read that thing word for word all the way through.
Let's see. So, a bystander during the food fight. How about a civilian near the Penny and Winter versus Cinder fight? You have to imagine there were people who saw that fight in that building. The dock worker from, when the Faunus militia showed up. Blood, it's a color. Yeah, we're not going hard edge here. Gray. It's kind of...
Blood. What I really like to think about Ruby characters having totally normal last names. So, like, imagine someone being named Blood Smith.
Chartreuse. Chartreuse? Is that how you pronounce that? Sanguine?
I think.
Chartreuse. Although I think there is someone named Chartreuse. I actually think there is somewhere in the lore someone named Chartreuse. But, for all I know, the Fall of Fall. I mean, there could be some 80-something who didn't catch on with the same movement. At least didn't change. I don't think old people changed their name because Ozpin was still Ozpin. Invent the Fall of Vacuo? No, we're not going to invent from whole cloth an event. Wait, there was a Fall of Vacuo? There was an attack on Vacuo, I should clarify. A grandpa named Greg and his grandson Citrine during the Fall of Beacon. I can't remember. What was his name? The grandfather and the grandson. Oh, sorry, you didn't read the first book, so you were not as familiar with them.
I don't know these things.
Oh, crap. What was his name? Guy, chat, help me out. Who were the characters from the first book that were kind of the linchpin? And were they at the Fall of Vale? Or at the Fall of Beacon? A huntsman who lies about killing Grimm, they leave no evidence either way. That's not the... That's a good prompt, but not for tonight. Today we're doing civilian in chaos, basically.
So before we got on the stream, Raymond and I were talking about Christmas songs, and I'm looking at Wikipedia's list of Christmas songs, and I don't know why Once Upon a December is on here. It's not a Christmas song. It's just about December, and that's what's more interesting to me than thinking about the Ruby books. I think there's more discussion to be had about that. Chat, is Once Upon a December a Christmas song? That's your next question.
Shopkeep during the Fall of Beacon. Ooh, Shopkeep's not a bad idea.
But
I mean, as we can see, he is a very powerful character in this setting. I mean, there are some animators that have really shown his true potential. He just hasn't been tapped yet. Some guy named Arthur Fleck gets to go on Lisa Lavender's talk show. No, we're not going Joker. That's right, Augustus. That was it. Augustus and his grandfather. They were fleeing. They fled Vale after the Fall of Beacon. They could be a route to go.
I think Fall of Beacon is the best one because we kind of have the most feeling about that.
Yeah, we have the most frame of reference for it as well. Like Mantle and the like is kind of we'll Fall of Beacon. The Fall of Atlas is kind of dry so far. I gotta catch myself. Fat Man really ribbed me hard in this recent video about using the placeholder a lot. So I'm trying to be a little better about it. I'm trying to be a little more coordinated with my words.
We live in a society, Lavender. We live in a society.
It's off topic, but you guys think Ruby could be ending next season? I mean, it could. They could wrap it up. They have introduced the big
Guys,
bad.
is Attack on Titan going to outlast Ruby?
That would be amazing.
I mean, apparently there's 3 chapters left, and they got 16 episodes this season, and then there's going to be a part 2. And if that part 2 has a long enough gap and Ruby ends volume 9, it would definitely outlast.
Okay, well, here's a good question. Do we want to go with a child during the Fall of Beacon, an adult during the Fall of Beacon? How do we...
I think it should be another student. Like, have it be a student with their own team. Team Bronze.
Bronze? Maybe. Did they
Team
die?
Bronze, the one where they lost, like, all but one of them.
Yeah, who was the survivor on that team? We have Bronze Knee, Roy Stallion, Nolan Porfirio, Mei Zedong.
Rip Mei Zedong.
What if we do it from Mei's perspective before she dies?
We could do that.
It's a death fic.
It's a death fic. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so we have the premise.
Attack on Titan last season goes on 20 years. I hope so.
Actually,
I don't know what I'll do after that show ends.
I have that tab on standby here to make sure I get all these names right. Bronze. Whoever named Bronze hated him.
Yeah, whoever spelled it like that, it reminds me of those families in like the South where like they misspell the names intentionally.
Then Roy Stallion. Stallion. Wait, that had 2 or 1 L? That has 2 L's, okay. Okay, so we have that. We have our characters. We know fuck all about them, really. Except...
Ain't Roy Stallion that dude from Full Metal Alchemist?
See. Team Bronze were written in Ruby Before the Dawn as a foil to Team Juniper, where only one member of Bronze survived as opposed to Juniper having lost only one member of the Fall of Beacon.
That's not really a foil, that's numbers.
Yeah.
A foil is like...
There's got to be some kind of like parallel, an actual parallel to them beyond just... I guess it's a foil in the form of numbers. Like, that's about it.
A foil in a writing sense is like, so in Final Fantasy VI, the two main girls are Terra and Celeste. And Terra and Celeste are both like magic users that were in the same army and kind of struggle with their own humanity because of it. And they are similar in that way, but they are foils because one was like naturally magic, one was like kind of a super soldier build, one was like a slave, one was a general, one uses fire, one uses ice. Like that's how what a foil should be, that these two characters kind of reflect but contrast each other at the same time. I don't know why the term is foil, but in my head it's because aluminum foil, when you crinkle it, has these like light spots and dark spots and like some reflective spots.
For the record,
that's how
I think Mupa raises a good question of whether huntresses and huntresses are considered civilians until they get their licenses.
I would think they are in the same sense that like I don't know, because like in the military it depends. So if you are a cadet, let's say you're an ROTC, you're at a military academy, you are not really in the military until you are contracted. Otherwise, you're just kind of a candidate.
I still think maybe we need a more civilian element to this. Now, here's an interesting tidbit I didn't realize. Bronze and May were killed attempting to save Roy. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So...
I like how allegedly means it could be wrong.
I mean, this is according to E.C. Myers' Twitter.
Allegedly. We could roll with that. What if it's...
Let's see. I don't have to deal with other... I don't have details other than Grimm, but I think they probably were trying to save Roy.
Probably. Like these are unsure words. We could roll with that. What if they just, like, died, you know? I think that's, like, a thing that sometimes people struggle with, is, like, just kind of died. Like, there was no meaning in it.
I mean...
I would say that these are still civilians in the sense that they're, like, freshmen.
What if we give them a civilian element as well? Like an even more civilian element. Like they like May dies attempting to save a kid or something like that.
We could... How about like a civilian needs to help the huntsman in training, and they realize that they are kids that can't protect them.
I don't know. I don't know which direction to take it. There's a lot of different directions. Let's look at chat. What does chat have to say?
Yeah.
They all died unheroic deaths that could have been avoided. That fits as a parallel to Pyrrha dying a heroic death. Ooh. Now that's a foil. Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, it's they all died these kind of like not kind of meaningless,
heavy duty or
there
light?
Was nothing special. What kind like it's special in the circumstance, but they didn't like sacrifice themselves. They didn't like run into a building. You know, they...
What if they were cowards? What if they ran?
They're like what, 16, 17? Or 17, 18? Can you blame them?
I mean, part of this would be very helpful to actually know character details about them. I think something could be extrapolated from Mei Zedong with the fact that she's a sniper.
May, watch out. There's a Titan behind you.
What if we jump?
Snipers in Attack on Titan don't have a good track record, so that's probably fitting.
What if we jump between multiple POVs showing how different people face the tragedy of the fall? That's getting pretty in depth. I wanted to keep this relatively short. Okay, so what I usually like to start with, now that we have like sort of a broad overview, it's going to be a death story. Death story about death. Let's see. Dying a pointless death, I would say. Slash unheroic death.
By the way, no Attack on Titan spoilers in chat. I'm watching you guys.
Yes. How do we want to take this? Do you want to, like, I usually like to start with a strong opening line of sorts. So, like, do we want this? Do we want to take it from the angle that she's looking back at the last few minutes of her life, or do we want it like in the immediate?
We could do that. We should frame it so like we know kind of where she is in the scheme of things. She is a sniper, so she fights best from a distance, but it also kind of reflects like the cowardice of it. Like she's just kind of on a roof waiting for things.
But what should her thought process be while up there? Like is she? Are we starting with her on the roof and then dying later, or are we starting with her like basically fading out and being like, well, that was all pointless? Because like I kind of want to open, like my first instinct is to open with her being like, what was the point of all that? Like that being like the opening line of being, you know, what was the point of all that? And like going into like describing what kind of state that she's in, how she got there, and kind of like the dying light. Do we want to go that direction, or do we want, because that's like a very natural way that I handle things. It's like sort of like an in medias res, or I guess in medias, what's the word for end, or in endius res, I guess.
Finis res, I guess.
Well, that's a cool word, infinis res.
Well, fin is end, so I think finis. I don't know. I used to really like those Final Fantasy songs with chanting in them. You learn a bit of Latin that way.
It was just supposed to be a friendly tournament. That's not a bad line.
That's very generic, though.
Go to the tournament, have a few laughs.
The sniper on a roof aspect can be used for her to see other people. Yeah.
But like we're right now, we're talking like, is she reflecting? Oh, voice crack there. Is she reflecting on the events that led, like, if we're having her die, is she dead basically at the beginning of the story, and she's just reflecting on what led her there, or are we just telling this final few minutes of her life leading up to her death?
I want it to be like the final few minutes. You may be wondering how I got myself into this situation.
Well, see, no, but that's like the because doing that is the in medias res thing. That's like the how did I get here, and then describing it. What is chat thing? Life feed or die? Live free or die foiled? At least we have a tournament. May, you might be wondering how... Yeah. Well, seeing as she is a sniper and the high quality of Flying Grim, she would be mostly pointless. Not really. Snipers can shoot things in the air. That's perfectly plausible. Considering this is Ruby we're talking about, then Nolan just get over its issues off screen. Slowly watching her team die from a safe position as a sniper, knowing she's a coward, not willing to jump down.
Oh, we're getting somewhere now.
Yeah, okay,
that's
all right.
Good. JJ, that's good. We'll do that.
All right, so...
that's by aluminum foil.
Watching her team die one at a time. May, get your ass down from there. That's the opening line. That's Nolan basically trying to get her out of the tree.
Yes. Chris is negging me in the DMs. I didn't spoil anything. All I did was say that Gabby is goated, and it's true. And nobody knows why I'm saying that, but she is.
Let's see.
Also, you put the OP6 in my head, and now I have to deal with that.
Really? This is 1.5 or 1.15 spacing? Really? That doesn't look like 1.15 spacing. Or no, it does. I just didn't. Oh, right. Very important thing to do for all aspiring writers. At least I recommend it. Put your writing in Comic Sans.
I don't do this, but Raymond does.
Yeah. Well, it's very weird how this works, and it might seem very stupid. It is very silly, but for whatever reason, I've had I listened to this advice once of put everything in Comic Sans. It will make writing easier, and whatever black magic it is, it does. Also, we got an indent here, and then there we go. Let's double space this for now. Format line spacing, or 1.5. Yeah, that's better.
Someone please get me a t-shirt that says Gabby is a good Eldian. Just in giant block text.
So I think the order this should go is she's in the tree. She's basically watching this. Nolan is screaming at her to get out of the tree. And she watches as Roy gets picked up by a Nevermore. And Bronze
does shoot at it, but, like, it does nothing.
Yeah. Or she misses. That kind, because she's still inexperienced. She misses. Because, did you see that fight against Ren? She was missing, and he was standing up completely out of cover. She is a terrible sniper. Like, we can't even have her reflecting on, like, why did she choose a rifle? She's terrible with rifles. But it was the only thing. We can actually have her, like, reflecting on, like, how bad she is as a huntress.
Needs work sniping. Like, make it be like... She should be... Okay, right after that first line, it should be like, this isn't like the movies. Like, she was inspired to be a sniper from media. But she's, like, just not that...
This isn't All Quiet on the Western Front.
This isn't American Sniper. This isn't like Call of Duty at all.
You know, I thought it was going to be more like Saving Private Ryan. Did you ever watch the ending of Saving Private Ryan? No. I just watched the fun parts.
I don't think Saving Private Ryan has fun parts.
The first sniper duel. I mean, like, there's some fun moments. Like, the first sniper duel is intense as hell, and I love it. I find that fun. Where he shoots the guy through the scope of his rifle. That's great.
I think it should be like, she's a decent sniper, but, like, she can't really handle, like, the more technical aspects of it. So, like, yeah, if you took her to a range and you set her up, and, like, she would do great. But if, like, she is in the thick of it and, like, she has to do all the tech herself and all the reloading...
I don't think it's a tech. I think it's more like she chokes. That's her thing.
Yeah.
She's trembling. Okay. Also, what kind of thought do we want to go for her? Do we want to go first person, or do we want to go third person omniscient? Do we want to go third person
limited, please? Yeah, I'd like to order a third person limited.
Okay. And as for thoughts, do we want why is this down so low? Do we want italicized thought, or do we want just thought in text?
I don't like that, because I find it kind of, like, it breaks the flow of things, so, like...
That's fair. I mean, I can like it, right? Because, like, it can be... Yeah, you can write on this.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So I was thinking something like...
Yeah.
Oh,
we might have to do present tense for this.
Yeah, how do people make this look so easy?
Italicized thoughts, says Blue.
Man, if we're going to be counting teams on, we might as well follow. Team Ruby. No, Team Ruby is like protagonist power.
Yeah.
This is the demonstration that not all the teams are actually up at Ruby's prowess. Which, I mean, yes, you could easily say that Team Ruby is definitely not at that prowess, but for the show's sake, they believe that Team Ruby is at that prowess. So, all right, have fun, Floof. I hope you get good grades. So, 6.
I think like you should do a section, then I should do a section.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. That way I can check my email. We're writing an OC fanfiction because they had no characterization. You're right. We are doing this on the spot. We are doing on the spot what what the Ruby writers can't do in 8 seasons, which is give someone a personality.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel kind of bad. This is not exactly civilian, but, you know, it's close enough. Close enough. It's basically just a kid playing at being a sniper. You know, the Vic, rather than meleeing herself be killed by the Grim, she could use her sniper rifle one last time to off herself.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the sentiment of that, but I think that's a little sharp for what I want to take it, especially because she's demonstrating. I want to show she's demonstrating cowardice in this, and my plan is to have it cut out as she chokes as a Grim charges her. I think that's a good moment to end it out on, as like there's like a Beowulf just charging at her, and she has a shot on it, and she just can't pull the trigger, or she pulls the trigger and she misses, and it gets her.
It's gonna be nice.
Trigger. She pulls the trigger and okay, what are the types of Grim that were present at the Fall of Beacon? Were there creeps at the Fall of Beacon?
There were the fly. Listen, to me, it's the wolf one, the flying one, the snake one. Like, that's how I remember Grim.
Yeah, well, that doesn't help when you're writing a fic that requires them to have proper naming convention.
I apologize.
Okay, creep.
Nevermore is the flying one.
Yeah, I know. Alpha, mutant. Okay, so where are they at the Fall of Beacon? Yes, they were at the Fall. Okay, so leave that up. Should I capitalize the name of a Grim? Do you capitalize Grim names?
Yes. I would think so.
Shoulder, throwing it to the side. Not throwing it to the side. Okay, so I want to say that this creep is going towards a group of people. She shoots it, and it doesn't stop. So, I'm trying to think of how to go about that. She pulls the trigger, and it grazes a creep in the shoulder, causing it to stutter, halting its crawl, maybe?
I think that's smoother. halting its crawl, but only for a brief moment.
Does that need a comma?
No, in this I would not have the comma just to make it like snappier.
Yeah, that's always the thing with but. You gotta. It's one of those things where like you can't. You
You
should
just have to know.
Technically speaking, you should always have the comma with it, but for flow reasons, you might not want to. For stylistic reasons. Crawl, but only for a brief moment.
Groom being struck. We're AU then.
Let's see.
Chris is like on a mission to get more Attack on Titan music stuck in my head.
Oh.
Joke's on you, it's what I've been studying to.
Speaking of music, I should get some music going. Luckily, I bought at a discount price a whole bunch of royalty-free music. Let's see, what songs? This? Not my normal listening grooves. I actually listen to Made in Abyss typically while I write these days. But, oh, what? Well, guys, Molly's dead. What happened there?
I'm okay. Okay, everyone.
Okay. Alright, everyone, how's the music, by the way? Is it too much? Too little?
I can't hear any music, but also I'm not at that part.
Yeah.
I'm not on. I do not listen to the stream. I'm listening to Raymond on my Discord call.
That's a little strong. I'll lower it down even more. There we go. Okay, so where was I? There was screaming. They're screaming. Okay, so this is what we have so far. What do you think so far? I used moment twice.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Let's see.
Royalty-free music is Molly Homscore and No You Mean It. That's it. I actually don't really like that opening that much.
Which opening?
The first Attack on Titan opening. I'm towards the second, the third, and the sixth.
See, I like the first one purely because I can sing it. Well, I can sing the verse opening of it pretty accurately. They have
entire songs that are in like broken German. You'd probably like those better.
I'm gonna have to reset my watch. Son of a bitch. Okay, well.
All right, is that like your?
Yeah, I think that's my section where we want to go from here. Maybe more Nolan. More good old Nolan trying to get her out of the tree.
Yeah.
I'm going home now. We'll be back on the main YouTube account later. Okay, San Fran, enjoy your ride home. Hope you're safe. F for Molly, can't hear it, lol. What music? Not war enough. I hear it. Linked Horizon. Why? Royalty-free music is Molly.
Just play the Bravely Default battle themes. All of them. It's the same.
Yeah. It's supposed to be quiet. It's just they're kind of like to fill the background so it's not completely dead. Maybe he says, we don't have a second.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of saying with friends, what if you name someone in specific? Like she had like a regular range buddy that she went with. None of which would be her teammates because none of them have ranged weapons besides her.
Who has ranged weapons in the show?
Well, let's see. They're from Vacuo.
Like, there's Ruby.
They're from
like...
Shade. Who else do we know from Shade? Bronze, Indigo. Ooh, Indigo's from Shade.
What are their names?
I know. I'm working on it. I'm trying to see which one I have weapons. Is this Nebula? What weapon did she have? She had a crossbow. Chat with Nebula. I think she actually showed up in the book. Yeah. She's alive. Nebula survives.
Nah. Let's keep this sharp.
Maybe she takes another shot at something?
No, that's too casual. Eh. Oh, man, what is that spacing? Jeez. Okay.
Maybe she takes another shot, comma, a Borbatusk this time.
Well, didn't she fail to actually stop? Like, she stopped one, but she didn't kill it.
She stopped a creep.
Spelling, I don't know how to spell that.
That's actually right. That's right.
Yay.
I have recommendations, but I don't want to. I don't know if you're having like a creative flow or not.
I'm working here. I'm a bit distracted by a couple other things because I am like in the midst of finals week.
I can understand that.
And I like just finished a group project. By the way, I'm done with traffic engineering class now. That's exciting. What's Nolan's weapon?
Nolan's weapon is a baton, if I'm right. Yeah, it's a stun baton, like a cattle prod. Oh, that's right. Nolan got put on Team Fondue. I forgot that was.
Imagine being called Team Fondue.
Led by Fox. God, that. Yeah, it's a cattle prod. That's his weapon. It is a cattle prod. Which I don't know why that would be an effective weapon choice against Grimm, who apparently don't feel things.
I guess I could still stun their muscles.
The, Has Roy gotten carried off yet? No, not yet. I plan to make that my next section, hopefully. Tries electricity crackles in the air instead of through. Do you think that's better, or do you?
I like reverberates.
Okay. Want me to take it, or do you have a flow? Okay.
Yeah, actually, you can take it.
Okay.
This is fun.
This is fun. Sorry, it's a little quiet. This is what happens when you write. You think a lot. 90% of writing is literally just staring at a page and thinking of what words to use next. The actual writing process is relatively short, which is why when you get there are sometimes where I start writing and I'm just like, I can sit down and I can hash out like 3,000 words in one sitting because I just kind of know exactly what I want to put down. And sometimes I struggle to write 500 in a day just because I just don't know where I'm going. It's very writing is one of those types of profession that's never really very regular, and making that regular is very difficult sometimes. But it's okay. It's all right. It's all part of the natural process. So.
I'm glad people are, some people are enjoying this. We got 36. It's a pretty good number.
Yeah, it's a pretty good number for people today watching us random people write on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice having it's not a huge group. It's just like this group of like a few dozen people, and we're just having a good time.
It's cozy. It's cozy.
In the COVID days, it's a nice thing to have. Remember Friends?
Listen to no one. We need to get the hell out of here.
I don't know how these people talk, so I'm guessing. I don't have any
When I write Sage,
May was dead. So May was dead for the books, so I don't have a voice for her written down anywhere. I have one for Nebula because of that one chapter where she beats the shit out of Velvet just unapologetically.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was my favorite chapter. Not because Velvet was getting beaten, but because it was just really fun to read.
Well, because it actually felt like there were stakes.
Yeah.
Holy shit, one of our characters might get horribly disfigured because of a teacher.
That was a really cool,
His horse and hard.
That was cool. Sage's voice is Nicolas Cage and face up. I can't do a Nick Cage voice. Raymond, back me up here.
Nicolas Cage is a very peculiar type of voice. I don't know if I can quite do it justice. I'm more of a what's his fuck? The guy that played Malcolm in Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum. More of a Jeff Goldblum. You can do that relatively easily, or you can always do a Steve Buscemi. It's a little weird. You got to do the bug eyes with it, but I'm telling you, you can do it, Steve Buscemi.
When you did the Jeff Goldblum voice, all I'm thinking of is, and I blame Life is Strange for this, that style of voice acting where it's talking like this and being really bad at talking is good voice acting. I blame Life is Strange for that.
If you want a good example of that, I think it's All the King's Men is the film. It has Robert Redford. It's all about the Watergate scandal. And the performances in it are incredible because they feel like real people. There's like it's this incredibly landmark event, but the performance in itself that these are just ordinary guys on a very very dangerous and very precarious position. It's great. Okay, so
Adults pretending to be teenagers. That's true. I still think that Chloe should have been Ashley Birch's like only voice acting job. I have not liked her in anything else she's been in. She was the worst of the cast in Steins Gate. And everyone else in Steins Gate is amazing, so it's like really jarring.
Was she Mocha?
She was
Mayuri.
Why do I keep forgetting her name?
Mayuri?
Yeah, she's Mayuri.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love Mayuri. I mean, I can looking back on it, I can understand her voice can be a little grating, but that's accurate to character in the Japanese as well. So she actually played the role well.
She played the role well. She plays roles well. It doesn't mean it's right. The fact of the matter is her natural state of voice is like being a brat from the Northwest, like kind of what fits her. So she's really good as Chloe, and Mayuri, if she pulled it off well, I personally didn't like it because it's grating, and I haven't liked her in anything else. So she could only play characters that are from the Pacific Northwest. That's my rule. That's the T.
Pulling bolts.
Wasn't she also Rize? Was she Rize? Because I know that they switched out Laura Bailey eventually. Yeah, she was. Hey, Star.
Let's see.
Steins Gate comes off like a less nerdy, pretentious, and non-aggressively pushy Doctor Who, and that's why it's good.
Yeah, no, trust me when I say, like, Steins Gate has the best time travel in any show ever. Excepting...
So does Zero Escape.
Yeah, I have not played Zero Escape, but I'll have to. With the exception of Primer. Primer is just insane. It has... Like where I always complain that Steins Gate has the best smorgasbord of time travel, while the Primer film has the best zero-focused, like completely zeroed in on one type of time travel and exploring that to the absolute extent that they possibly can. Because like
Steins Gate is also really elevated because it's not just being sciencey, it's also being very emotional.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem when you actually go back to classic science fiction literature. There's so little characterization. So little. You find it so often that in, like, classic 1950s, 1960s science fiction, that so many of the characters are very, very lifeless. They're just, vehicles for the plot.
Dude, Suzuha is a national hero.
Suzuha, ironically, I would probably, of all the characters I've ever encountered, Suzuha is up there as one I would probably get a body pillow of. I love her that much. And I don't even like, I have a body pillow I like, but it doesn't have any anime girl on it, because I think it's kitschy. I think it's weird. But Suzuha's like, I could do that. The thing is, I like wholesome body pillows. I don't like it when they put, like, the sexy stuff on them. Like, I just want to cuddle my favorite character. Am I allowed to do that? Like, in a non-sexual way?
It's weird.
It is weird, but I understand it's weird, and I acknowledge it's weird. But like, I just I don't need like the exposed anything on the other side. I hate how they all have that flip side. It's like,
Yeah.
I just want the wholesome side. Damn it. Let's see, Kristen Andrew Hood. Exclamation. If someone's cut off mid-sentence while they're yelling, do you still put an exclamation next to the dash, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's dash exclamation point.
Okay, making sure. I'm trying to make sure I'm not having repetitious dialogue here, because I notice I use cursing more than you do. Because I just find that people curse.
I don't like cursing. I like to have it in very specific moments.
I like to try and reflect reality where people do curse a lot. That, although I understand your perspective where it's more strategic in that. The strategic F-bomb is very smart.
Strategic. I'm all about strats.
Wholesome body pillows for Ray, 1,000 sub goal. Possibly. No. I'm kidding. I don't really need it. I have a body pillow that doesn't have any pictures on it. I'm good. So, I'm not sure how to do this. This is Roy getting captured. How do I want to describe this? Like
Here, if you mind, I will jump in.
Go ahead. Abe, don't get crude. It's not super crude, but I mean, we don't. Veteran, does Ray have a centaur body pillow or a Lamia one? Okay, unironically, I would buy the Lamia one. That like 30-foot. It was like, is it like 15 feet long? The Lamia body pillow.
I like Star says I like cursing, but only with certain characters. Yeah, because it does characterize like a character who's like very goody two shoes. It doesn't make sense that like their dialogue and even their narration is like cursing all the time. It's just not who they are.
Maybe a variation on that instead. A rush of wind.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's see. Neighborhood Celebroski. I like my body pillows the same way I like my Reddit posts. Wholesome 100%. Who are you? Jack's Blade? Black talons plucked Roy, falling black wings like a curtain. And disappearing magic trick is complete, nevermore shrinking into the sky. So maybe something like that?
Yeah, that's good.
See, a rush of wind louder than any she'd heard before deafened the words.
The canopy is like she's in a tree, I guess.
Yeah, I assume she's in a tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. A vacuum ensues, followed only by the beating of wings and Roy's horrified screams.
But I know we're kind of divorced from the Steins Gate talk. I just want to say Trina Nishimura also was goated in that show.
I mean, like,
I didn't realize how good of a voice actress she was until like her most famous role is Mikasa, Attack on Titan, and for the first like 40 episodes of Mikasa's existence, she's very like nothing vocally, and then like there's this one part in season 3 where she just goes off, and I was like, whoa, she's actually pretty good. And then I heard her in Steins Gate, and I was like, bro.
she was
In Steins Gate, she was Kurisu.
Kurisu, yeah. Who is just awesome. She is
So
second best. I mean, I like all the girls in Steins Gate. Mary needs to be protected, obviously. Just protect. And maybe get some help. She needs some help.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a meme made out of, oh no, I just wound you.
I just what?
No, it's true. Oh no, I just wound you.
I don't remember that. It has been a while since I've watched it.
Okay. She says that a lot when they keep going back in time.
I have to watch that series again at some point soon. I have it all on DVD, so Mikasa is such an Eren simp.
She is an Eren. There is, you could generally look up on YouTube every single time because it has an Eren in the first 3 seasons, and it's like a 2-minute video. Which is very long considering the length of the word.
It's like half of her dialogue by the sounds of it. Who should be screaming here? Should it be Nolan or should it be Bronze? I think it should be Bronze.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Roy is screaming because it sounds like he just kind of insta-died.
Well, no, he's screaming while being carried away.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not screaming anything coherent. He's just screaming. Maybe not the dialogue immediately. Maybe.
Because they cut the scenes where she was given character. They had to cut a lot out of season 2. That's kind of the way of it. They had to cut a lot out of season 2 to make Historia the main character, which was honestly a very positive writing choice for the series. Because, like, for like a solid 10 episodes or so, the story was being led by a woman who was like 80 pounds. It was just beautiful.
Her vacant eyes flew to the enormous shadow of a bird. How do we describe
I do mean season 3 part 1, but it starts in season 2. It's like the last half of season 2 and the first half of season 3. Yeah, because they front-loaded Ymir's backstory, so they had to just kind of make it match up. It worked really well.
I like the word wriggling. It's a good word.
Right, wriggling is a very descriptive word. I like it. I love descriptive verbs. Yeah, they added Ymir's backstory to season 2, which made her writing with Historia a lot tighter. My favorite Titan is the Cart Titan. Because the person who controls it is just awesome.
All right, you want to take this now?
All right.
Oh, right.
And my only watchers are lucky. It took us 90 chapters to get Amir's backstory. Yeah, it did.
Kinda sad that anime cut the scenes from because yeah, you mean season. What a mini epilogue when the Nevermore carries the guy past Neo floating down from the airship. We are all simps. What is your favorite Titan? We need to start a movement around Eren. It's a good word.
This is now an Attack on Titan stream.
Oh God, no! I have so little about it except from you. Anime only.
All you need to know is that Annie is the best backwards written character I've ever seen. Annie starts like Annie gets better with backstory, and because she's like out of the story by like chapter 20, it's like everything. I guess she's the best retroactively written character I've seen. There's a lot of retroactive writing in that story. Ymir and Historia did in 2013 what like 7 years of progressive American cartoons could not do in 2020, which is make a ship between two women that doesn't make me want to tear my hair out. Who would win? Bunch of progressively educated 20-somethings proving to the world that it's okay to be different, or one straight dude in Japan writing his monster manga. Annie had the most Annie's writing is like from chapter 22 to chapter 130. Anyway, I'm writing.
Yes. I'm sorry. I have no comment on Attack on Titan stuff. I can't. I have no context really. I just hear you like gush about it constantly.
Sorry. I am an excited individual.
I'm excited. I did when I started hearing some of the news about the new Spider-Man film coming out. It's just amazing.
That is pretty cool.
With all the different actors coming back from the previous two, like holy crap, they're actually doing live-action Spider-Verse. It's great, and they're bringing in Daredevil.
Really?
Yeah, Charlie Cox is apparently going to sign on, and everyone's like, okay,
Yay.
Well, at the end of the last film, Spider-Man could use a lawyer, so.
Yeah. So like, what So like Sarah said, it's like Annie is what Ruby might try to do with Cinder for good. You know how like Ruby keeps teasing Cinder's backstory?
Yeah.
Imagine if they just actually showed us what it was, and then you went back to season 3 and you're like, everything makes sense.
Imagine thinking anything in season 3 would ever make sense in any context.
Okay, but like that's what this manga did. So like everything in season 1 that doesn't make sense by like season 3 makes a lot of sense. Ruby kind of wishes it could do that. It kind of tried that in volume 6 with the big backstory episode.
Yeah, it did fill in a couple of holes. Made a few new ones in the process, but hey, you know.
So I'm actually kind of stuck here. So Roy is getting.
Well, I mean, at this point, it would probably be. I wouldn't assume that he's dead. I think assuming he's dead is the wrong move. Because this is what happened. I think we should have Bronze chase after him. That was where I was kind of taking it. It's like Bronze kind of just rushes out to chase after him, and he's like yelling back, like, "Nolan, May, get your asses out of here!" That kind of thing. I don't know, something like that. And like basically, I want to say that Nolan saves his own skin. You're wrong tense. Or present tense.
Right. Cinder's backstory is she lost a game of Smash. As someone who has a lot of experience talking with Smash Bros. Players, I would fully believe that.
I was horrifically scarred and deformed. Was that before or after you lost to Falco? After?
Cinder's backstory is that she got called out in a twit longer about Smash Bros.
Cinder's backstory, she didn't get a refund at Starbucks and joined the dark side after. Cinder's backstory, she's just an average college student. That's it. Watch it be that Cinder's backstory was she was a part-time retail worker. Now her obsession with power makes complete sense.
6 years for 6 years for the one of like I would say she's the main villain, but she's like the number two.
She's the Lancer villain, where the idea is that the main villain does like all the shadowy stuff, but she's the one like going out and doing the stuff. She's the active force of villainy in the show. Until recently, which is that's the new shakeup, is that she's now been made kind of moot because, you know, Salem doesn't need her.
She is she is like what, 1 for 6 on fights?
2 for 7, I think.
2 for 7, and this is weird. Why is it that like every time she's on screen, the fans like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared for the characters. They're gonna like Cinder has not done anything. Neo just lost to an abuelita. These are not threatening characters anymore.
In fairness, Neo only lost points when she got decked by Oscar because Oscar sucks. But Neo fighting someone who's actually shorter than her is hilariously like. Maria is like basically pulling the same trick that Neo pulled on everyone else. That Maria's not a super aggressive fighter, as we can see. She's very reactionary, and she basically flipped Neo's attack style on its head.
I know, but she shouldn't be able to do that because, like, she's clearly, like, shrunk 3 feet and her bones should be just deteriorated. I mean, she needs a cane to walk.
Aura. You can hand wave that away with Aura. Look, Abuelita, is that the proper term? Abuelita. She kicks ass, all right? She got the chancla out, and she started... That's stereotypical. It's stereotypical. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. Like, the point is, I shouldn't expect villains to win anymore. When I'm watching Attack on Titan, there is the extremely high stakes that any character can be defeated at any moment. And then you have, like, Ruby, where it's like, there's a 99% chance this is going in the hero's favor, so, like, why do I care?
But somehow it's still going to go against the hero's favor. Like, that's the thing that really annoys me about Ruby, is like, oh, things are going, like, the heroes just whoop bad guy's ass, and then nothing comes of it. Like, wait, what? How did you guys kill Tyrion? Ruby, why'd you aim for his tail and not his head? Come on. Or Penny not killing Cinder. Like, I don't understand, like the entire showdown between Penny and Cinder in the most recent episode, where, I mean, I'm spoiler alert for anyone that's watching. Penny has basically the opportunity to not only just kill Cinder, but also Emerald, and Emerald pulls this stupid, I'm going to shoot this thing you don't want shot thing, and so Penny doesn't kill her. But the problem is, Penny is between Emerald and the thing that Emerald is threatening to shoot, and Penny knows how to take a hit. She's made of metal. She could easily just fly down and beat the ever-living crap out of Emerald.
What I don't get is why Cinder didn't just, like, why didn't they do that first and not attract any attention? They very easily could have, like, sent Cinder out there, just fire that, use her fire powers, melt everything important on the structure, and leave.
Yeah, why didn't they do that? Oh, why didn't they
It
attack the
makes
outside?
infinitely more sense. Okay, fine. I'll accept. I would have accepted Neo lost if she lost to La Chancla, but that's the only situation. if 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 Maria took off her shoe and threw it at Neo, I would just be like, okay.
Ruby volumes follow the pattern. Yep, Ruby volumes do follow a pattern.
You ever think about how Pietro designed his like robot daughter to have thigh highs? I think about that.
Look, the man went through her. Was that? Did she have thigh highs before?
I don't know.
I'll look that up. She did. But I mean, in fairness, that's clothing, and she does have a will of her own. So maybe she's like, "Oh, I love these," and he's like, "You're my daughter. I don't know if I want to be buying those. Please, Daddy." Okay, you're gonna have them.
Okay, here's my other question: is that clothes, or is it like her skin?
No,
Do you ever
I
think about how he designed his robot daughter to be white?
I think I keep using the friggin' placeholder. I think that she has like a underlying skeleton or underlying like skin. Like she has those are clothes on top of her. They're just modified.
Yeah,
for
no,
her
that's what I
body.
think. I think if you like took off that dress, it would just be like
Smooth skin.
steel and wiring.
No, I don't think it's steel and wiring. I think she has like, you've seen androids in other science fiction shows.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a smooth like, she has the shape of a woman, but she has like no details on the body. It's just like smooth skin all the way up. Maybe there's like a zipper for like easy access to the mechanics inside of her.
My headcanon is Neo suffered severe brain damage in the airship fall. Only a way for her to make sense. Okay, she lost. She did go toe to toe with Cinder, but since Cinder is 2 and 7 and loses to literally everyone, it's really not saying much. So I could buy that.
Well, let's see. How many fights has Cinder been in? Let's see. It's Ozpin. She wins. Let's see. She lost against Crow and the Maiden, technically. We'll call that a draw. We'll call the Maiden fight a draw. Her versus Ozpin was a win. Her versus Pyrrha was a win. Her versus Raven was a loss. Her versus Neo was a draw. She's drawed more than anything, but then she got her ass kicked in Volume 7.
And 5.
Yes, and 5.
Hey, wait, no, Fate's Awakener is right. The ice tornado burnt off Winter's glove, but it did not burn off Penny's clothes.
But did Penny still have her aura? Well, I think Winter was out of her aura.
No, because that's beforehand.
That's beforehand? I think Molly froze.
And
Say again, Molly, you froze.
I'm trying to remember the timeline.
Because like they have the whole fight with Cinder, and then
I
the
don't think
when the Winter Maiden activates her BAMF mode. And I think during that fight with Cinder, Winter loses her aura. Her aura breaks.
Does Aura protect clothes?
Yes. Sometimes.
Bro, I'm so confused, bro.
Because I think... Does Penny have gloves? I think she has gloves that break away. Like... Yes, New Penny does have gloves and they do burn away.
Okay.
Because they burned away in the most recent episode while she was fighting Cinder.
Why would they give her gloves if... Why would they give her gloves then?
She
You
probably
know what
chose
I'm
them.
waiting for? You know what I'm waiting for?
Shopping trip?
Yes, is they find her in the tundra, and they're like, the cold is affecting her tech, and then me and my friends get to shout at the screen, she was designed in the cold climate. Why didn't they build her for the cold?
Yep. I'm expecting something like that too. I mean, they could have it like it be exposed, like something got damaged, so like all the casing is cracked, and like that creates a breach through which the cold can enter. They can explain it that way, possibly.
I don't know.
But
Gonna have to ask Sarah about that. Sarah, cold and electronics. You should know something about that. I don't know.
One more shot. It just came down. Are you implying that if she shoots it, it'll fall down, and they can deal with it then?
Yeah.
Okay. How's everyone in the chat doing now? How are you guys doing over here? How funny is that when Roman comes back and Pyrrha is the only one from V3 that died and hasn't officially come back to life? Only on the underage characters because Aura says, no to naughties? Mo to naughties? I have no idea. The fashion. Penny's gloves and hair is the most memorable thing about her new design to me. USB port scene. The gloved hand just popped open. I mean, they could be tailored.
Yeah.
They could be tailor designed. Like, I think her old clothes were tailored to her, probably. Penny's hands probably have a vibrate function. No, we're not going there right now. A robot with hardware frostbite. Make it happen, Lamo. Couldn't be surprised if they find a way to bring Pyrrha out, but I highly doubt it when John would not have a reason to be whatever John is. I mean, I play with the idea of bringing back Pyrrha. I actually bring back the idea... You never should miss up a chance when you do resurrection stories, because it can ultimately really mess with characters if you bring them back. So if you bring back Pyrrha as an evil grim creature, which a lot of people want to see, that could actually be a really cool thing, and make it a genuine struggle for the heroes to fight her, and through that you could revive her as a good character too. I've actually read a fic like that. It's actually really cool, where they have this huge emotional, like, conflict because she slowly realizes she's a grim monstrosity and she constantly wants to kill people, so they have to like chain her up and shit. It's actually really intense in places, and that hasn't updated in years, and I'm sad now. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Normal processors run better at low temperatures. Penny should be hyperactive in the tundra. It could be water damage. I think that'd be the more concerning measure, is if like water gets into her mechanics.
Yeah.
Penny, Ruby, I believe I'm experiencing sexual excitement. Short circuits. Stop it, insane oddball! Stop it!
That would imply she was programmed to have that.
I mean, like, when you have a soul involved, like, it asks the question is, like, is the nature of sexuality tied to the soul at all?
I don't want to think about this.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't. She's only like 3 years old, guys. Oh, I was wondering where your writing was. It wasn't showing up. Exclamation point on the bang. Bang!
Bang. Eh. I should italicize that exclamation point. Imagine if Pietro did that install on Penny.
I feel the best resurrection esque ideas are either if it was a fake out death, a possible spirit to talk to the characters and give reassuring comments, and one with good enough foreshadowing. I mean, I did an entire video. Foreshadowing is important when it comes to resurrection. Definitely. But on top of that, a surprise reveal with enough backstory established later can be just as good. It really depends just on how tightly written the resurrection is, like the reasoning behind it, and having proper consequences for it. For example, if Pyrrha were just brought back as a Grimm, and then they defeated her and she was suddenly good again, I would be pissed. But they brought her back as a Grimm. She was an antagonist for like half a season. They beat her into submission, and then for like the next season and a half, they have to have her like chained up in the basement, and they constantly have to like find a way to try and break through to her, and it's slow, arduous, and often painful process. It could work because it's truly it's straining.
Do you think they would do that?
No, I don't think they would. I think they would have a surprise that Pyrrha's back. She'd be evil for one season. They'd defeat her at the end of that season, and then they'd be like, oh, she's good again, or she's dead again. Like, they would just binary it. They wouldn't. That's the problem with RWBY writers. They very often can't think in shades of gray, which is ironic because they actually did a really good shades of gray with Ironwood.
If they're going to do a good resurrection arc with Pyrrha, it's going to be by accident, like everything else in the show.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Pyrrha's arc was by accident, so I mean...
Yeah.
Oh, I know where to go with this.
When do you think RWBY will end? Again, we know this. Okay. Attack on Titan anime comes out 2013. RWBY comes out 2013. They are both extremely overhyped, action-based, complex story worlds that are very popular. The difference is as one lost power, one gained power, which means that they can't conclude without one another. So they end together or they don't end at all.
I know how hard it is not to go suddenly slip into present perfect. Still in range. Bronze and Nolan. Going after it. Can't defeat. And nevermore.
Robin was on purpose.
Where were you going with its falling?
That's tragic.
Were you hoping that it? What was your plan with it falling? Because I like the.
I was thinking she actually does hit it, but it's like too late by that point.
Maybe it's making a suicide attack. Like it's falling, but it decides to dive. Okay, so it falls and it kills Bronze in the process. It pecks through Bronze on the way down, and they're both him and Roy are basically crushed by the Nevermore in the end. And Nolan is like standing there like, holy shit, my team is just dead. And May's like shaking, she's shuddering, she can't believe it. So she slides out of the tree and starts running towards Nolan, and then gets blindsided by a Beowulf.
Sure.
Okay.
Attack on Titan's in its final season. The manga's almost done. I know, but like again, we don't never know if that's really the end. It could be the end of the main story. We could be getting that Sasha spinoff I've wanted since 2013. It's just her Appalachian adventures. She has like a fiddle, and there's a lot of cornbread involved. It's great. Bumblebee merch. Ruby will go on as long as they can sell Bumblebee merch. So the plan here's the thing, right? Everything Ruby intentionally does is garbage. So if they intentionally make canon, it's gonna be garbage, and it's gonna be a level of garbage not even shippers will bite at. And then everything falls apart. Isayama wants to open a spa when Attack on Titan's done. Yeah, I know. But, like, you never know. Good for Isayama. He is a king, and he deserves it.
Oh, shit. Sorry, we're not talking, guys. I just hit my stride. I have a vision for
Go.
She stows her rifle and drops from her perch.
Ruby will literally buy anything that enforces lesbian ships because lesbian ships are where the money's at. I mean, again, She-Ra literally just had straight up abuse forgiveness, and people, like, there's article after article about why this is a victory for society. Like, at this point, it is a matter of when, not if, a cartoon's romance story will fall apart. And the reason why is because Adventure Time shot, I wouldn't say it shot itself in the foot, it shot its entire leg off trying to do romance. And then all the Adventure Time writers did their own things, and all of those things had the same problem.
What were the same?
And then the people from those shows did their own thing, and they all had the same problems.
Well, run through. What was the problem with in Adventure Time?
It was just like very like from what I remember, the last parts of Adventure Time is like BoJack Horseman for kids. It's just depressing. It's not fun.
Interesting.
Like, and then because they were trying to do all this like romance stuff, and basically conclude saying like, yeah, Finn doesn't deserve love. And then Pendleton Ward went on to make Bravest Warriors, which is about this guy going through like time and space to fuck this one girl, I guess. And then you had Steven Universe, which is a disaster morally. Okay, disaster is a strong word. It trips over its own morals a lot. And then you have Star Versus, which had a stellar first 2 seasons before just falling into anything. And, you know, that's not what made the show interesting, so, like, I stopped watching it. And then we have She-Ra, which is She-Ra. And
Which I still argue has stuff that makes sense in universe.
it doesn't mean it's good.
Well, no, it doesn't mean it's healthy to emulate.
It doesn't mean it should be celebrated. Like it's like if Raylo had like a happy ending. It's not like a thing to celebrate.
All right, that's a little low. Raylo had no chemistry.
Neither did Catra and Adora.
I think they had chemistry. I just think that it was a very volatile mixture.
Oh, the chemistry. It has chemistry like me and a punching bag have chemistry. Yeah, I keep coming back, but it's just beat it. Bubblegum, the war criminal got a girlfriend. Yeah, Cachadora is like the least cute thing to me. It's cute in the sense that as a concept, like, yes, these two girls are together and that's kind of cute. But it's like having a cat, like, or a puppy that's just like has the worst personality ever. Like, it's constantly trying to bite you and seriously harm you. It's not well written. It's not logical. It feels like watching Adora throw away all of her character development of trying to be her own person to just like simp over the woman who tried to kill her and end the universe. Because Adora is a nothing protagonist who just does what people say, and it gives her the illusion of a character. Whereas Catra, it basically is just resource guarding Adora it's like, well, if the world ends, then you won't be in it. And then
I have a very different opinion of this, for the record. Me and Molly have gotten into many conversations about this.
Like, if they gave Catra, like, 5 seasons to redeem herself, I'd be like, okay, fine. But they didn't do that. They gave 2-week anger management award and then sent her on her merry way into marriage.
I can for the record, I can concur with that. I think they needed one more season in between where 5 and 4 were. Like, you needed one more season in there. Like, basically the entire Save the Cat arc needed to be its own season. And, like, then you have another season to bolster that, where it's like, oh, she's learning why what she did was wrong. She's actually learning the morality of her actions and why all that came, and all the perspective of everything that she tried to ignore. She's learning all that. But it lasts,
like, 30 seconds.
Yeah, because, like, she has, like, that whole heart-to-heart. You could have had, like, the entire scene between her and Glimmer, where Glimmer is like, you killed my mom. And Catra's like, I was trying to kill everyone, bitch. And like you could have like this extreme challenge to each other, and being like, at the end, Catra being like, look, I don't know what to do. I am lost. I am scrabbling at everything here. Like,
I am a terrible person who should be in jail for the rest of her life, but I'm cute and I have a tragic backstory, which means I'm forgiven. Like, I don't buy that.
I mean, no, because like the entire purpose is like, at the end, she's like, shit, I've realized how much I fucked up, but like, if I don't make the sacrifice play now, everyone's going to die. And like, she kind of realizes what she cares about at the end. And in this circumstance,
I think she should have sacrificed herself, and I would have been okay with it. Like, here's the thing: people compare her arc to Zuko a lot. Imagine if we have season 1 Zuko, right? Imagine if in season 2, Zuko like deadass tries to murder Katara, like no holds barred, just straight up tries to murder her, and then in season 3 he commits genocide, and then in season and then at the very end of season 3, he's like, I just didn't know what else to do.
I think that's being disingenuous a little bit.
That is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened.
You can see we have very differing opinions on this.
You can't have an unhealthy relationship and develop it like that, and then be like, this is really romantic and healthy. And
No,
we know Noelle
that's my
Stevenson is in a shitty
I
relationship herself.
I know
So
I agree with that, and like that's why I think you needed a little more. What I want is an epilogue where you see basically Catra doing perpetual community service. Like she is a slave
and then
to
she
the
goes
state.
home to be Dora. Man,
Oh
hard
god.
day at work.
See, it's claws. Christ.
That is how I expect that entire relationship to be. I have very strong feelings
No,
about this.
I can respect them. For the record, I respect your opinion on this matter. I disagree with it, but I respect it. Well, partially disagree.
I've known people in real life who are like shippers and like are just terrible women, just like objectively terrible women.
Say okay.
So
as like fire explodes along her ribs, and fire explodes along her ribs as she is tossed to the nearest wall. Did my music end? The music still going? Okay, it is. Ironically, we're on the song called Horde.
Horde.
See.
The only good character in She-Ra was Entrapta. That's just facts. You know why she was good? It's actually the reason. It's sort of the reason why the show kind of flounders, in my opinion, is because the show felt like it was written for ships and progress and progressiveness before it was written to be a story. And that's like the one character who just wasn't. Like, yeah, they kind of throw her in a romance at the very end, but everything she does is kind of divorced from the entire like atmosphere of the show, so she's just kind of cool by default.
I mean, if anything, she's a one-sided participant in that romance, where it's Hordak crushing on her, and like she just wants a good friend with him, and like I like what they confirmed. It's like he's.
I think
Hordak is literally just shunted to frickin' Beast Island for the rest of his days with Entrapta to try and fix the damage done there. Like literally, they're just exiled.
Entrapta's having a great time. Good for her.
Yeah.
Don't diss Scorpia like that. Scorpia, I don't hate. I just think she's really disturbing. Like, it's not anything she does, but because they try to make her like this dumb muscle sidekick funny, but like the show takes its emotional like characterization so seriously, she comes off like a genuinely disabled adult, and like you just watch Catra be like it's supposed to be like the smart villain and the dumb muscle like sidekick like Pinky in the Brain, but like it's like Scorpia just comes off like a genuinely special needs adult, so it just feels like I'm watching Catra bully like a person with like an IQ of 65. That's my take.
Let's see. Light flickered around motes of luminescent motes. I like the word luminescent.
I can't wait for Matt Mickelson next episode of Attack on Titan. I can't wait for peak best girl, all the best girl debates about Attack on Titan will end the moment Peak is on screen. She-Ra rant stream. That's my entire life is a rant stream. There are certain things where like everybody who knows me knows my opinion on it. And that's one of those things. I can't wait for the Gabby Flame Wars to start. Gabby is a good Eldian. I think the Gabby Flame Wars will be a little different because when we were first introduced to her, like it was the manga and like we kind of had no framework, and
I went into the wrong tense.
And like I think when we're gonna see it animated, she's gonna feel like she in the first episode she felt like a lot more to life. Like she feels like a more again like she feels like more of a character. Yeah, I do keep up with the manga. But yeah, she feels like more of a character. So like I think it's gonna be different once we really like we're gonna have to see some really brutal stuff happen to her friends. That's the show. Like, and that's what's gonna happen. That's not a spoiler, it's an expectation. Um and like that's gonna be different to see animated.
Cold and your skin cold.
What is he writing? I technically just got here. So we're writing like this little Ruby fanfic about Team Bronze during the fall of Beacon.
Yeah, and actually, we're nearing the end here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to do everything. We got to write. I got to do my obligatory She-Ra rant. It's great.
Yeah, great time here.
Having a time. I'm talking about Attack on Titan.
On an alpha. Oh, an alpha. That adds up.
I like that when I bring up like Starverse is going to shit. Nobody defends Starverse. I think we all just kind of agree on that one.
Where's Nolan?
Yeah, super excited for Sunday when everyone is Star Versus after season 2, and it becoming Star Versus was on such a roll. Star Versus had everything going for it. Star Marco and Tom should have entered polyamorous relationship. Well, usually polyamorous relationships end up badly for at least 2 out of 3 people. So I guess pick your poison. Someone replaced the animator for season 4 of Attack on Titan with World War II footage. Yeah, I could buy that. Star was bi, can't change. I mean, so is every single teenage girl in American animation right now. So why should I care? Why should I care about her romance in general? Like, wasn't there this whole thing going on with like succession to the throne? Like, that's the thing when a show was when a show forces itself into shipping, it often sacrifices so much because you have to work on building up this romance and juggle the main plot, and that's what happened with Ruby Volume 6. It's probably the best example of it. Ruby Volume 6 would have been really good if they kept going with what they were doing the first 6 episodes, but they had to get Bumblebee in there, so... And what's weird is that in those first 6 episodes, they were really working with this thing where, like, Yang is having a lot of difficulty dealing with Blake's presence, and that was really good stuff because that is what I would love to have seen and expected. And,
Yeah,
and
if,
like
if you still arrive at Bumblebee later, but you still establish like that uncomfortableness early on. It's like them having to work together to kind of get through that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And work together. Like, and they actually build sort of on that mutual discomfort. They actually be like, look, we can both kind of work through this together and get closer because of it. Because of how distant we were. It's like that kind of a weird paradoxical relationship stuff. That's interesting stuff to get into. But then no, at the end
they should have done that.
Yeah.
It was right there. They could have had this whole thing about them building the trust back up, but instead they just 180 mid-season. So
like, what would have been great is like after the Adam fight, Yang just being like, look, we're just because we did that doesn't mean I'm okay. All right, but like we're on the right path. Like her doing, like saying that to Blake, just being like we're,
saying what?
The idea of like just her like pulling Blake to the side after killing Adam, just being like, look, just because we did that, like it doesn't mean that I'm completely okay with us.
Yeah, but then Volume 7, it's just like,
no,
nope,
they're
we're
sort
just
of
gonna
together
have
now.
fun times, and we're perfect together, and don't separate us. Don't separate us.
Except in Volume 8, then separate us.
Yeah, and
separate
then
us,
8,
Daddy.
And then they're trying to like backtrack on it. It's weird.
It is bizarre. Well, guess
they're trying to be like, they're trying to do what they were doing like the first, like in Volume 5, where it's like, yeah, if she comes back, you know, she's trying to be like, you know, she's like still, it's like they're, yes, of course it's rushed and forced. There's like no two ways. It's not being rushed actually, because it's been a very slow process, but it's like, I guess it's rushed in the sense that it's forgotten about, and then when it happens, it's like 0 to 100, and then it slams on the brakes. Like, everything about Bumblebee feels very insidious to me, because it is coming with the caveat that they should fix each other, which is not what you want in a relationship. It's very, very dangerous to be in a relationship because you think they are good for your mental health. Because what happens when they aren't? People get tired. People don't want, you know, you can't have a relationship where 70% of your conversations are you talking about your mental health, because anybody gets exhausted. Like, but what would happen with Blake and Yang if they did get together is they'd have this idea in the back of their minds that like, oh yeah, everything's okay now because we killed Adam together and we're stronger together and all these things. But what actually happens is Yang is still aggressive and has a short temper. She'll always be like that. Blake will always be a brat. She'll always be very like, I almost said catty, but that is the word. You know, she's stupid. She's not smart. She's kind of stupid. She likes to blame others for her problems. Like that is just such a recipe for a disaster. It's not like Cachorradora, where like you just have the abuse there and it's straight flat out. It's just like Blake and Yang is something way more insidious, which is that they will slowly emotionally wear each other down over time, and it will turn into abuse just by caveat of them expecting this impossible thing from each other and then getting on each other's nerves because their personalities clash.
Does it tell you how many words this is?
Like, you'll have Control-Shift-C. You'll get word count.
691 words.
Yeah.
69.
So nice. So like Janice says, Yang has become annoyingly defensive aggressive. Any opposition to her is met with anger and backhanded talking to. Like, that is a terrible trait in a relationship. What happens if is like, hey, you didn't take the garbage out, and then Yang just gets mad, like, and then Blake is just is catty and bitchy, and then Yang gets more mad. Like, that cycle will just continue.
What if like we learn that like Yang's semblance is actually way more powerful when she's not angry? like
That'd be great.
where she has to learn to like enter a Zen state, and then maybe like her fire becomes like blue or some shit, so they could go like the Super Saiyan blue. They can make that
That's
reference.
nice.
That'd be cool. Okay, so here we are. Finally finished the writing. As you can see, I took a brief pause. I was listening to different things, obviously, all over the place. But finally finished it out. So let's read this in its completion.
All right.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, hold on. I get a message from my friend. Do you ever think about how Pietro designed his robot daughter to be white? I didn't, but now I am. That's what he told me.
I mean, I think we raised that last volume. Like the Penny has the soul of a fat black man inside of her. Like, have you ever considered that? Like, you ever think of it in the reverse? That is, this petite little white girl has this fat old white dude's soul inside of her, or this fat old black dude's soul inside of her. Like that's kind of weird.
Yeah. I liked it when characters are too flawed to date, but they go through separate arcs that allow them to become compatible as they grow mature. I think that's what they're trying to do with Bumblebee, because that's like popular to do, but it's not working. Like, and also they're kind of missing the part where it's like too flawed to date. Like, they are missing that first part because people want to be like, everyone deserves love, but like the fact of the matter is you can't, like, there is that point you just can't be in a relationship, and that's okay.
Yeah, like I
because relationships again aren't your therapy.
A little insight in my life. My most recent breakup was on my end because I just realized I'm not in the state to have a relationship mentally. I can't. I can't support it mentally. I can't support it financially. I can't support it emotionally. Like I made mistakes, and I recognize that, and I backed out of it. I couldn't handle it. So that's one of those things, that recognizing when a character just can't do that kind of stuff.
It makes them feel more human. It's good writing. It's okay to not have ships. Like, we keep talking about, I guess 75% of chat's seen Attack on Titan. Nobody in that show gets with any, like 3 characters have gotten in relationships, because everybody in that show is on some sort of like shocking end of the manic depressive scale. So they can't be, and there's too much else going on. They only put in romance if it contributes to the show. Like,
well, how many of them have hate fucked?
None of them, because it's not that kind of show. It's too busy telling a story.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I mean, in that kind of situation, people just shagging because it's like, oh, this might be the last time I get the chance type deal.
I mean, that may have happened, but the show doesn't really care. I'm sorry, I'm losing it at Penny N-word pass.
Oh, God. The only reason why I think hard on Bumblebee is because
it is like the best. Sorry, hold on. It's like one of the best advices I could give for someone writing a long-term story. If you can't find room for romance, don't do it. Tell your story first.
Or otherwise, make the romance a central aspect of the story. Don't just like shove it in there to be a side thing, like Harry Potter did. Christ, Harry Potter's a terrible example of a romance in a story. Hermione and Ron is probably the closest you get to a legitimate romance. But then you have like Harry and Ginny, who just kind of come out of the fucking woodwork. Like, I remember at the end of reading book 6, and I was like, wait, Harry's kissing Ginny? What? Where did that come from?
Yeah, Attack on Titan was too busy building its characters to be something besides ships. Like that is the problem of all these cartoons that I neg on, is because it feels like they are writing ships, not writing characters. Like, oh, here's the passive one, here's the aggressive one, opposites attract. Like, they're just being written for each other and not like as agents of a story, which is okay in a romance, but not in anything else. Like, if I'm watching an action adventure, I don't want to stop every 30 seconds to build up a ship. Like,
all right, well, let's read our writing and close out the stream.
All right. May, get your sorry ass down from there. Damn it, damn it, damn it. How do people make this look so easy? May sucks in a breath and tries to steady her hands. Her sights keep wobbling and they just won't stop, and she needs them to stop. She pulls the trigger and it grazes a creep in the shoulder, halting its crawl, but only for a brief moment. It shudders off the attack and charges into one of the festival stalls. They're screaming, May! Just a second! We don't have a second! May wishes she did. Back at the range with all the time in the world. Time to breathe, time to drink water, to chat with Nebula through bulky headphones. She takes another shot, a Borbatox. I'll miss. No! Another shot. Another. The third one hits, right through the eye. Nolan, I can do this! Trust me. Electricity reverberates through the air. A different Borbatusk falls to the ground, stunned by Nolan's baton. They can do this. She can do this. May smacks herself on the cheek, refocusing. May, listen to Nolan. We need to get the hell out of here. Roy's voice is hoarse and hard to hear over the saws on his wrist. She lines up the next shot and pulls the trigger. A dry click. Shit, a jam? Pulling the bolt back, she checks the chamber. No, an empty mag. She lost count. Cursing into her hood, she pulled out her pickets for another box. God damn it, May, get down! A rush of wind. What?
Pockets? Oops.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were using some gun term that I didn't know. It's possible. No.
And this is why you read it out loud, people. This is the best way to proofread.
God damn it, man. God damn it, May. Get down. A rush of wind. Louder than any she'd heard before, deafened the words. A vacuum ensues, only followed by the beating of wings and Roy's horrified screams. May's hand locks in place and she looks to where Roy had been standing, finding it vacant. Her eyes flew to the grotesque bird cutting through Beacon's skies, a wriggling green form in its talons. Roy! May crowed. May scrambles to reload. The Nevermore is still close. Just one good shot could give Roy a chance. Mag in, hear the click. Ready. Miss. It's okay. It's still in range. Bronze and Nolan are running after it. They can defeat a Nevermore if it just came down. One more shot. May, we need to follow that thing. I can do this! Nevermore swerves. Miss. But it's flying back towards May direction. Closer, closer still. Bang! A hit. It's falling. No, it's diving. It's diving! There's only a moment of breath before Bronze is consumed by the Nevermore shadow. Even over the sounds of combat, she can hear the sickening crunch as the bird bursts into a cloud of black smoke. Nolan stops running, his feet trailing to an end, and his hands flying to his hairline. She can't hear his voice. She could hear the squelch, but not his voice. May feels sick. Hands shaking, she stows her rifle and drops from her perch, the bark tearing at her pants. Nolan, we need to get out of here, May blathered, sprinting towards her friend. Leave, that's all she can think, reaching out to Nolan's shoulder. Wait, why does her arm hurt? Her footing slips away and fire explodes along her ribs as she's tossed to the nearest wall. Lights flicker around her before shattering to a million luminescent notes, leaving her skin cold. Was her aura always that weak? May looks up to the figure above her, a Beowulf with its pointed snout and bare fangs. Oh, an alpha, that adds up. Where's Nolan? She looks behind the alpha and finds Nolan besieged by the rest of the pack. Their eyes only meet once before he's blocked out by the pile of blackened bodies. Well, guess that means she needs to save herself. She reaches for the rifle on her back. Only her arm wouldn't move. Broken? Ah, that's why it hurts. Those lifeless eyes stare down at her, red burrowing into her skull. A drip of sweat falls down her chin. Of course it's sweat. What else could it be? She was just nervous. She wasn't scared. After all, she could do this. The Beowulf lunged.
All right. I think I'm pretty happy with that. What about you?
That's good. That was fun. That was a fun stream.
Now, the fun part. What should we title it?
Sorry, I just got a DM. So I sent my friend saw Penny N-word pass, and he just goes, "Salutations, my N-words."
Oh God, that's the title now. Salutations, my N-words.
No, that's not the title. The title is you want to do one of those like intense one-word titles?
I'm kind of feeling it for this. Miss. Fired, not missed.
Misfire.
You see, I would say that, but I actually already have a fic on my account called Misfire.
Ah, no.
So just miss, I think.
Yeah.
It's strong. Okay. And of course, we need to make this... let's make it Times New Roman, or...
May dies for communism.
Garmond. Here we go. Not that Garmond. Different Garmond. I like Garmond. It's very... medium, and then... bold.
The last shot. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. There we go. I'll make that Fireside Writing 1, the last shot. All right, now we got to figure out what we're going to do for the next stream.
Please don't nominate me as a head writer for everything. I am so good at writing specific moments and then nothing else.
May dies for communism. Steady. Oh, that's a good one. Wow, now this is the kind of energy and intensity I want from the actual show. If Ruby ever gets a chance for a reboot in the future, I nominate you too. I mean, I would definitely love to have Molly on my staff and Fatman as an editor. Like,
I'm the music person.
Yeah, you can definitely be on the music team. You and Craig and Rev. You have you all on the music team working together. You're glad to contribute. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, guys. Any suggestions for what we should do next stream? Feel like we're kind of.
I see. What if for next stream we wrote our own versions of this excerpt / prompt, and that would be cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That'd be cool. Next, done definitely. I will post this on my fanfiction account and post it to my Twitter. So everyone, make sure you're following me on Twitter so you can get that link when it finally goes up. Gotta stop saying Gotta catch myself there.
Yeah.
So be sure to go there, follow me on my on my Twitter account, and then via that through my fanfiction account. Remember that for $1 or more to my Patreon or Fatman's Patreon or Dashy Lee's Patreon, you get access to Team Frostbite Discord server where me, Fatman, Dashy, sometimes the British Ninja, and at some point down the line, Molly will be there as well, regularly interact with you guys, our fans.
If you give me any money, you won't get anything, but it'll make me happy.
And I believe that is about it.
Next stream, we just talk about dough again.
Next stream is all about dough. God, I still, that's my favorite title so far.
Redo. Make a fanfic about Petty Edward S.
Oh God, no, but that'll be the challenge out to you writers who want to go along with the stream. Write your rendition of The Last Shot. Maybe give it a different title if you want to focus on something else. I think this is a pretty strong one thus far.
The more diverse stories we get, the better.
It could be from a different person's perspective, but in particular, the last moments of Team Bronze. That's the prompt to you. The last moment of Team Bronze during the fall of Beacon. Let's see what you guys can do, and I hope to see it next.